Hey guys and everybody on the stream, welcome back to Jönköping, Sweden. We are here at DreamHack 2011 Summer. This is going immensely fantastic right now. A lot of great games going on today, and we're about to see the first showing of Zan as well from Game coming off a loss from CLG. So we're going to have to see how they turn that one around and really put it in their favor for this next matchup.
Zan, another one of those unknowns.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll amaze us. I mean,
make it known.
We'll see. Yes, exactly. Make them into a known.
We'll have to see. They are known for the Pantheon. Like we were saying, we want to see the Penta Baron drop. So we'll have to see if it happens at some point.
We shouldn't jinx it, but I'd like me some man dropping. I definitely would. Yes. Unfortunate game there for Game. They didn't have an answer to the sustain comp that CLG was running. If you have a sustain comp like that, you need to burst them down, which was what Game tried to do, but CLG always withdrew from the battles at the right point and came back half a minute later with full health. And there wasn't much that Game could do there. But let's see now what they can do against this complete unknown team. Candy Panda was absolutely amazing on his Corki, so we're gonna see what he does now. I have actually been most amazed so far by his Tristana.
Yeah.
It's not a carry that you see very often. I really enjoy seeing that. And yeah, we'll see how that will go. Let's see if the teams are starting to get into the game.
Indeed. I don't believe I see a game up yet, so they are still waiting right there. I believe Game probably getting a chat down. What happened, what went wrong here and there. As you were saying, Tristana or Corki. I believe that it's the Corki because of the range, that ultimate. Also, more that his the Gatling can shred armor. And his Phosphorus is a little bit of AP as well. So it's not really a hybrid build, but he has a little bit of everything, and he's very usable. As Tristana is right there in your face. If the jump doesn't happen to the kill, then you kind of don't have your cooldown, and she's useless after that point, except if you're, playing an Ashe position, and you can just keep barraging people with your Q. So
on the other hand, Tristana is a kind of hero that scales very, very well into the late game. So the games here have been rather long. Even when they were one-sided, teams are cautious, obviously. They want to play very, very safely, and in a situation like that, it makes sense to consider Tristana simply because she is such a late-game hero. And if the game is going to go 40 minutes and you have a Tristana with a Bloodthirst and an Infinity Edge, and she hits that Q button,
it hurts.
That is so very, very painful. Yes, while we're setting up, remember we have the Ask the Commentators a question thread. And we okay, so we are going to look at those threads. We are
going to go do some questions, and then we'll go for a quick break.
Right.
We'll
do
a few
we're
questions.
Probably going to have a break.
Bit.
Exactly. Yes. So yeah, let's see if you have some questions. And once again, I walked around earlier today a little bit, and I have seen a lot of people here at DreamHack watching the stream on their PCs. And there is a fan of the Masia over there. That's very good. I haven't seen any Noxians yet.
No, not at all. No. For anybody that's here as well, here in the Amiya Convention Center in Jönköping, we do have the Spin to Win booth over there. You can win some free swag from League of Legends, Riot Games. We're giving away some Singed cards as well as Viking Tryndamere, which is actually going to be available in the store on the 24th. Right. So if you're here in Sweden, you're going to use it first, and you're going to be able to show it off to your friends and crit their face off, and that's what Tryndamere does best.
Crit their face off with awesomeness. That's what
exactly. Pillage and Tryndamere.
So I have to address the elephant in the room for me. European teams aren't doing so well, are they?
How's that feel though?
It burns. It burns us. I don't know. It's not over yet. XP has flown in, so Fnatic are going to run their full setup.
Now, yes.
And AAA have been known to be susceptible to the nerfs, which is something that is a factor at offline games. So who knows? None of these teams are out of the tournament yet. The only team that has unfortunately left us so far is Pacific. They made 4th in their group, and well, I'm pretty sure they enjoyed the experience of coming here, and they had a chance of doing that. They don't have the amount of experience that North America. It's
such a diverse playing field when you're that far around the globe. You're only centralized to play against so many people. You're not going to ping well to somebody else in Europe or somebody else in North America. So it's not really justifiable to play against them. Right. The match isn't going to mean much. You're not going to be able to really get a lot out of it. It may be a loss, and you gain more out of a loss. But still, if you can't do anything during the game, it's really only going to be frustrating, and then the loss. So that's kind of really hard for them to come in here into a scene where they're playing every day against some of the best competitors in the world, and they're kind of thrown into the bunch while it's burning, and it's kind of hard to get out alive.
Yeah, that is certainly a painful experience. So I'd say we go to break.
We'll take a quick break, yeah, sure.
Right. And we should be back in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Restock on the food, drinks, and everything else, and we'll see you back here in 10 to 15.
Yes, I've seen a couple of threads of people posted their preparations for watching the games. Very good. I do approve of everyone who's sitting at home with friends watching these games right now. Well done, guys. And yes, we'll be back in about 50 minutes.
Sounds
See you
good.
then.
Hey guys,
Hi,
Traveler here. Oh,
Hi, and this is Carrie Bear, and we are going to show you guys the swag tour. So we have also been reading the forums, and we've seen your requests to get Mr. Duff Chu on the camera. So here he is, live and in person. So why don't you show us what the cool stuff is we're giving out?
Sure. So we got a lot of cool swag for DreamHack, specifically for DreamHack, including Viking Tryndamere, which is a totally badass skin that you can only get here at DreamHack. You can win all this swag at the Spin to Win over here. We've got a bunch of League of Legends lanyards, some rune pins, even some Demacia tattoos. So we got a bunch of cool stuff that you can come and win over at our booth.
so come on down and get some gear.
So I have one question for you. So you spin that wheel to win these prizes, but is there a hidden prize to see your abs?
Ooh, yeah, it's pretty tough. Actually, if you get it right on one of those black slivers, you may have a chance at getting able to see it, but no one's hit it today, so.
Gross.
All right, guys, you got to come
Anyways.
here and see this guy's abs. Back to you.
Hey guys, we have a little surprise for you. We're back a little earlier. We are going to give you the ending of the game, TSM versus Sun. We're switching in-game any second now. And as you can see in-game, Sun is stomping TSM.
Yeah, amazing right now. Not something you'd seen. The unknown coming out of Asia, just doing tons of damage right now. They actually just grabbed Baron a few minutes ago. Now look at the Rain Man, full stacks on Cho'Gath going down. They're just able to fight right around the turret. Ashe not worrying about the fact that she was just getting barraged. Has that Guardian Angel. She's back up. Brand may go down. He has about 50 health left. They're able to take down Vladimir. That is Reginald that goes down. There is a turret. We're going to get a little bit of lag on this, as it is the stream we are watching. We're not spectating this match, but we wanted to give you guys this information right now, that Zan is playing such a top-tier game right now.
And Riving, do you see that? Do you see that handsome man in the armor? That is a Mordekaiser.
A Mordekaiser in top tier? I'm sorry, what?
And this is not even close. This is 17-4.
And right, we're actually about to watch the Gamed versus Zan match right after this, but we definitely wanted to show you what was going down. TSM winning the NA Regionals, going down to Zan here at DreamHack Summer.
Who knows?
An amazing matchup for them right there. That is the victory. Glad we could get in for that little bit of information. Yeah, that is a very big GG. And now we may have another contender.
Wow, I'm sorry, I have to apologize to Southeast Asia because I treated them as not even a contender, but honestly, that was impressive. I just watched maybe 2 minutes before we switched over to the stream, and what they've shown there is really, really impressive play. They have really good team play there, and they were just so far ahead.
Yeah.
I am amazed. And let's have a quick look at the lineup from TSM here. There's Sona, Cho'Gath, Caitlyn, Vladimir, and Amumu. That's a perfect lineup,
solid lineup.
That's a lineup I'd say, yep, you are going to win with that lineup. And wow, a Mordekaiser Nocturne.
When we looked at that, it was something like 12,000 gold that they were up, as well as it was 11-3 in the match, 4 turrets to 1.
It was
like
more than 12,000.
Domination. That's not squeaking by with a win, especially for Team Solo Mid. That was really coming out very strong and being able to take what they needed to take and take it home.
They are the favorites, aren't they? At least for the North American teams, Team Solo Mid, everybody says.
Definitely Team Solo Mid, CLG, those top teams that are always looked upon and always talked about on the forums. Definitely the teams that we expect to be in those final matchups, creating those back and forth underdog matchups for these type of teams. But I guess Zan no longer an underdog.
I am absolutely impressed, and that of course was the reason we had to take a break. We actually had the games running concurrently, and we assumed that Zan would be ready on time because, to be fair, we didn't think the game would run too long, and then they were still playing. They told us we need to take a little break, and we found out why we need to take a little break. I am now officially a Sun fan. I'm just calling it right now.
Zan fan.
Yes, I'm a Zan fan, yes. They won with a very metal Mordekaiser skin, and I can definitely approve of that. So let's see how game they're going to fare against them. I am suddenly very, very excited about this match. Not that I wasn't very excited before, but I thought that it was a foregone conclusion. It no longer is.
Yeah, it really isn't, and a lot of people are wondering on the streams, are looking to ask the casters, will the off-streams alternates be commentated? Usually they are not. They are played in the background. We put the streams up that, are going to be those teams that are going to go head-to-head. Obviously, we had CLG versus Gamed, and that was going to be a huge match, not realizing that Zan was going to come out with a match of their own as well. So now we know, and now you know, and we're definitely going to bring you all the coverage between these teams throughout the next few days. It's only going to be less and less teams. 2 are going home today, as we said. Pacific has already taken that fateful trip home. Unfortunately, they did very well in their brackets. They were able to come out strong, I believe, without a loss. But like we said before, the diversity between the playing fields globally is, we see it's that much different.
Yes, and that's absolutely exciting for a game that's still, let's face it, a budding esport. We don't have the 10 years of history that StarCraft have between them, so we are still a young esport, and to see the metas in the different regions slowly start to diverge, when we slowly start to see that there's actually more than one correct way of playing the game. There's more than one way of playing the game that can earn you wins. I find that very exciting, and we're here seeing it And this kind of tournament is the #1 way of bringing everyone together and just seeing what happens when those metas touch. And apparently, TSM were not prepared for whatever it was that Sun did there.
It's one of those things where you might, you take it as they are the underdog. So we're going to play this way. We're going to be a little bit more aggressive, and then you just get taken off guard, and the tables are absolutely turned. And you're like, whoa, how do we fix this? We've kind of dug ourselves a hole here. How are we going to get out?
Yeah,
and by that time, it just seemed that 12,000 gold and 11-3. There's no way of digging yourself out of that hole. It starts raining, and everything gets muddy.
And it fills up very quickly. Yeah, that's why I looked at the lineup, because I thought, hey, is TSM running a troll lineup, bite them in the backside? But no, that was like I said, that was a perfect lineup. That's a lineup they'd run against CLG. That's a lineup they would run against AAA. So I am really amazed. That is the first real upset of the tournament, and very good. I like upsets.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You got anything from the forums?
Oh yeah.
What do we got?
Right. So people are asking us what we're thinking about the EU versus US so far. Well, we talked about it already. It's clear that, well, I'm not entirely happy with the performance of EU so far. I disapprove, Europe. I disapprove. No, that's of course not it. But I think that a lot of interesting matches are still to come. None of the European teams have been disqualified. None of the American teams have been disqualified. And in the relegations tomorrow, we're going to see some very interesting matches. So we know already that Epic is actually not going to play in the relegations because they took first place in their group. So they move straight on to the third day.
3-0.
They have a day off tomorrow. They can go and party. I do not recommend partying. But we're going to see some very, very close and interesting matches tomorrow, I'm very sure, because tomorrow it's going to be super clear, you win or you're out.
Yes.
And that's going to go for both teams tomorrow. Yeah, so we'll have to see what Fnatic do with their full lineup, what AAA do after the nerves have calmed down a little bit. But so far I have to give it to the American teams. Epic has been, well, Epic. I don't know what to think about TSM. We only caught the tail end of that game. CLG played really well, but I think, and I spoke to Game very quickly after the game, it's a case of being outpicked. They just couldn't deal with the sustain comp. So I think that players are probably getting ready. We should have a game up. Yep,
yes,
there is a game up right now. Let's spectate that game.
So I actually have another question from our US forum, or NA forums, I should say. What have the competitors been doing during the times when they're not playing in the convention center or out? And most of them actually, you will see them on the floor in front of the projector screen, in front of the TVs we have viewing the matches, watching the teams they may be playing against. Actually, we can see CLG still in the crowd, hanging out, watching some of the matches going on. Obviously pretty aware of what just happened to TSM, and definitely about to watch this game versus Zan match. Fnatic also in the crowd still. They haven't played for quite some time, and as they were in Team 1, so they've been done, and they're still hanging out here. A few of the teams are definitely mingling around. There's a lot to see here, and an amazing BYOC down on the main floor. It's like an absolute rave. If you're not here, this is why we're bringing it to you. If you are here, stay here. That's the best thing about it. We got the free play area going on over on the right side. It's actually getting really full. There's a lineup for it. Also, the spin to win booth. We have Nicoliolio and Nika and a few others working that booth right there, giving out free swag. And who doesn't like free stuff?
Free stuff is best. All stuff is better than free.
Some people say nothing is free, but this is actually, you do have to spin the wheel.
It's true. That is some physical effort.
So it may not be free.
And there is a Garen hiding in. There's actually
yes, there's a Garen in the bush.
There's a bush.
There's a bush.
Yeah,
yes.
That's pretty good. But personally, I have to say my favorite aspect of the entire booth here is just that area there in front of us, with people sitting there and watching games and cheering for the things that they're seeing.
It's one big collective mind. Everybody's here to have a good time. Everybody's here to League of Legends, and everybody's here to watch some awesome games and learn new strategies and figure out how the pros play, meet the pros, get some signatures, talk to them and kind of nitpick at their brain. Yeah, definitely they're busy, and they're gonna huddle around in their team and move around about the convention center with their team. So it's kind of hard to get a hold of them. They're always on the move. But right now, as they're in the players area, you do see some people talking to them, getting pictures with their their favorite players like Hotshot GG and Big Fat, and all the other players from Fnatic as well, like Shushei. And you can't lose that Alistar.
Yes, it's a great feeling. You're used to watching streams at home all by yourself, and then you sit down here and you're like, wow.
Oh, wait a minute. There's
other nerds that like this too.
Yeah, exactly. Proud to be the nerds.
Yes, absolutely.
And looks like we're waiting for 2 here from Zan.
Yes.
Definitely happy coming off of that. So Game coming off a loss. Zan coming off
an amazing
what
upset.
we think is an amazing win. That might have been handily for them.
They may have just, yeah, that's what we expected. I don't think so. I don't think that they expected this. I'd be amazed if they expected this. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game now. Candy Panda has shown just how strong his carry lane is. I'm not sure they didn't have a classic carry. They had an Ash that I saw there, yeah. But let's see how they fare there. But that said, Candy Panda won his carry lane against CLG quite handily as well. And it wasn't enough. I mean, if you can't translate that advantage into team fights that you win, then you're not winning the game.
Oh, good question here. How has spectator mode made your casting? And it actually makes it quite easy. We're able to see a lot of information.
Yeah.
You know, spectator mode is definitely going to be available quite soon.
Soon?
As yeah, very quite soon.
Soon TM or soon?
Yes.
Soon TM.
And
it's going to be soon.
It's very amazing. You know, it's really great to work with, especially having, you know, the call-outs being made, the map control, being able to see everything.
Yes.
And I'm for sure you guys are definitely seeing the results on your end as well. So it becomes a big thing.
I've seen some very positive comments in the forums about it. And big shout out to the team back in LA that worked on that mode. It's amazing. And good job, guys. Really happy with it. It's so much fun to cast as well. You have all the information that you want there. And if you just tune into a stream and you see a team fight going well for one game, you may think, oh, but one team, oh, that team is obviously winning. And then you look up at the gold score and say, oh yeah, well, but they're 10k gold behind, so they're probably not winning after all. And that's just a very cool bit of information to have there. And yeah, it's really cool. You can do a lot of things that I think other casters are probably going to do better than us once we give that spectator mode out to the world. You can follow champions around, you can jump very quickly from champion to champion. You have the two team frames that actually update in real time now, so you can see when if you have the mental power for that, which often I don't, you can see what's happening where, and you can jump very quickly, and I'm loving it.
For sure, yeah, it's definitely made everything huge and hugely easy, I should say, or greatly easy. Two words that don't match in that sentence, but I made it happen.
They do now. You made them match.
We create dictionaries as we commentate, and words within the dictionary that become sentences.
Somebody in the German forum says I should bet on the outcome of the next game and cut my hair off if I'm wrong. But I am not going to do that. I'm sorry. My power is in that hair. I'm kind of like a esports Samson. But let's bet. Let's have a bet going. What do you think, Sam? Gamed? I'm just gonna just go ahead and support my country. Gamed. Gamed are gonna take it, yeah.
Well, I guess I have to go with Zan then. You're not really leaving much choice. And I'm really hoping they bring out the Pantheon. I mean, you saw the Mordekaiser there. Usually pretty countered at high ELO. He's really that tanky DPS that you can usually carry a game with, you know, lower ELO. But coming out there, he seemed to be doing a lot of damage, you know, being able to control his shield very well, when to use it, when to re-increase it. Obviously, you always want to increase it, but, you know, not just spamming his abilities, because then you're left with cooldowns, and you get to run away as your health depletes.
Exactly, yes.
There's still the skill involved in Mordekaiser, but the shield pretty much does it for you.
Yeah, and choosing the right time to ultimate is important with Mordekaiser as well. I mean, you can keep the ultimate to ensure a kill on a champion that's running away. That's not bad.
The melting ult ignite.
Yeah, that's such a nightmare, isn't it? But what you can also do is you can just grab the enemy AD carry in the beginning of the fight, and just jump on him if you can, and just turn him to a ghost that suddenly fights for your side. And that is, many people don't give enough credit to the strength of the ghost that the ultimate actually creates. So yeah, there is probably something to it, but again, our meta just thinks there is no room for Mordekaiser, and yeah, I have to say it's hard to think where you'd put him, because even with the shield, a good carry like Candy Panda should be able to keep him completely out of farm on the bot lane. Every time you walk up to the minion, it's going to be a double up, or there's going to be a phosphorus bomb. And, you know, you only have so much shield. That shield goes away very quickly at early levels. And then you start taking damage.
Yep. We have another question here. Is Nocturne a solid pick for a tournament? Does he, does he have heal or something? He doesn't have heal or something, but he has the CC. He can be a solid pick. It's really up against, really up to you and the composition of your team and all. I mean, you can say that for any team,
right,
but Nocturne, we have seen him. We saw him in the regionals. I remember Pacific saying that they also had a Nocturne player, but they weren't able to play him because he was banned right away, and that's one of the things they learned from the Pacific games that they might have watched, the VODs, that they had a Nocturne player, and he was actually banned in a few games that came up this weekend so far, and he may be banned in the next few days here. We do have another 2 full days to go for DreamHack here in Jönköping, Sweden, it's only going to get better and better because as the teams weed out, we realize who is really supposed to be here and who is going to represent what you said before, their continent at this point.
Exactly, absolutely. Nocturne, just to go quickly back to Nocturne, is a semi-global, I'd say. So you have the chance of jumping in when people don't see you coming.
Right.
That is very powerful, even at high elo. That is just always going to be powerful. But the Nocturne is typically a champion that you see in the EU meta game if all tanky junglers have been banned. Because once again, our meta game currently is heavily dominated by dual AP, and there is no room for a tank on the lane, so you need to run a tank in the jungle normally. And if all jungle tanks are banned, then you need to start thinking about other jungle picks, and Nocturne is a very, very good pick because he has that CC. He can usually, in a 1v1 situation, he can jump in with his ulti, put up his spell shield so he can immediately be CC'd, and put the fear on the enemy champion, and that is usually enough to kill them. So yeah, I think Nocturne is absolutely a viable pick in high elo.
And some more questions. After seeing Zan play, do you think other teams will change up their bans drastically? I'm not sure because I don't think many teams know what Zan picks besides, the Pantheon that we've been kind of putting out there. And it doesn't seem like they're going to roll with that this game. They obviously do take this very seriously. Pantheon may have been something that the team composition worked before as they played in Asia, or Southeast Asia. And it might not be in this one. Also, another one, Orianna is not in this patch. She will not be used for this tournament. And what do you think about the Zan bans?
The Zan bans.
The Zan bans.
Do we have Zan bans?
I don't know about Zan bans. What do you think about if other teams will drastically change their bans?
Absolutely not. You cannot base bans on one game that you just saw. That doesn't make any sense. You need to know more about the team before you can start adjusting your bans and picks to tailor-made for that team. If we see Zan do really well with one specific champion a couple more times, I can kind of see that champion pop up in somebody's ban list, but I think teams are probably, if they go up against an unknown, they're going to run a safe strat, and they're going to ask themselves, what champion messes with that safe strat, and take him out of the pool.
Right. As the thing I've noticed a lot is as we have, these teams playing internationally now, instead of just regionals in the NA that myself and Freak casted, is that teams, there's not much TF banning or TF playing at this point in time. And he was banned pretty much every game with Vladimir, and anytime CLG was up, Nidalee was on there, obviously, for Hotshot. So it's definitely been different for the areas that they're playing from, and the characters that are being used. They definitely know each other. They know the teams. They know how to play against each other. They know, obviously, who plays what. But I don't know how this Zan is going to play out. We're going to really have to see what comes into play for them.
The TF ban is interesting, I think. I think what's going on there is that the people who are in that one meta, in the North American meta, they know that split pushes are very, very hard to deal with the team comps that they usually have. But because teams here often have team comps that the team comps that deal well with split pushes, TF isn't such an important ban. I don't think we'll see it. So anyway, we are now about ready for the game of Gamed versus Zan. We are going to cut over to the tournament area for an interview.
Hey guys, Traveler here, and we are here with Zan, who just finished winning a game. What's your name, and who were you playing in the last game?
My name is Entre. I play support. I was the Jana last game.
Okay, and you guys won. Congratulations on that. And now we're playing Gamed over here. So are you worried about Gamed? Have you researched their strategies? Are you prepared mentally, physically, spiritually?
Basically, we haven't VS them before, so we have no rough idea of how their gameplay is like. But we'll just stick to our gameplay and see how it goes.
All right, so you have no idea. Are you gonna try and play a little passive and try to feel out their strategies?
It will depend on later part in the gameplay.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna you know, ask you for your exact plan. I'm here with Games. What's your name?
My name is Y Shum and Rake in the game.
All right. And are you worried? These guys just won a game. Are you a little nervous?
I think a lot of people are a bit surprised that San won against Epic Gaming, but yeah, we are ready and prepared.
All right. Well, we're going to see who's going to win. Who has the best game face?
What?
The best game face. Scary face. Nah, I'm just joking. All right. So we're going to take it back to the commentators, and let's see who wins.
Love you, Traveler. You're doing a great job. Back
scary,
to here, we
scary
got scary game faces.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, we're not gonna win
unscary. I don't think I have a scary game face. So we do have one more to join in for Zan here. I believe that may have been our interviewee, and we'll have to see once he joins the game. We're going to get our picks and bans going on. We'll get that adjusted. And
I have to say that Rake became a much better interview partner since the WCG.
Yes.
Just a little bit of history lesson for people who may not know this. The man who just spoke to our interviewer, that is Rake, and he was on the legendary I Wear Cape in Real Life team that qualified for the WCG last year and went under the banner of SK Gaming. And there was an interview where I asked him about something I felt like a 1-minute question that he answered with a yes, and then just silence. He was like, I said everything I need to say, yeah, just yes. So, yeah, we have lots of veterans on that team, actually. Team Gamed, they also have Seiler, who is also at the WCG, and Osaf, who's not playing today, but who is actually in the audience, and who has been advising them after the game against CLG. I was actually standing here watching the game on the monitor and having Osaf sit next to me, so every time that Game made a questionable move, I just looked at Osaf face palming, so that added something to it. All right, wait, we have memes. Give me memes. Give me memes. This is good. All right. Okay, I turned into a unicorn. Oh, that's good. I'm not too bad at unicorn attack.
All right, very nice. Going to be a little bit Soraka.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be
Yes,
good.
there we have Axion joining into the game. So we do have everybody. We're going to see if we can get this game going live for the bands here.
Yes.
And we all ready.
Moment.
We will check. Xenon is doing the checking. We'll have this match for you in a few minutes.
Freak again.
So if you're just joining us, obviously turning on the stream, I believe we're at like 140,000 people, so you're joining. Everybody that's watching, make sure you join the IRC channel, get some chats going down. Everybody's probably flooding the channel with what just happened, and we're about to see it again. You know, we have Zan coming off a win, Games coming off that loss versus CLG, so we're going to have to see what they can do in this. They're definitely, you know, at some point in game, or at some point in the game, you definitely have to realize that, you know, we have more games to play. Let's not let this play on our mentality. Don't let it get you down. And they're just going to go into the next one stronger. You know, like I said before, the loss is really what tells you what your errors are, and you learn more from the loss than the win. Going through the win, you usually you're able to flow right through it. It seems like everything was going right, and it's the teams like Zan that lets you know what you're doing wrong, it appears.
Yeah, absolutely. I am absolutely thrilled about this. This is the first match of the day where I don't have any idea what's going to happen, and you know that's what you want, kind of. So let's see. Oh, look at that! Silent doing a nice countdown for us. 3, 2, 1, and we are in the picks and bans. Let's bring them up on screen. Yes, very good. We are no longer in the picks and bans. San just left. I think. Oh yeah, I think we had the sites wrong again.
Indeed. We're going to have to switch it out.
Have we had a game yet today, Rivington, where we did not have to remake, the two of us? We did not.
I don't know.
No.
We are beautifully cursed with
the
game
curse of the
remakes.
Yeah.
I'm going to hop back into here. This should be quite quick.
Yeah, I hope so. Unless they just, you know, packed up their gear and went home.
Yeah.
Because he just said sorry and left.
That's a heck of a flight.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
So we're going to get this game recreated again. If you're just joining us, this is the League of Legends Season 1 Championship, $100,000 tournament going on Saturday through Monday, all 3 days. We've already had one team go home. 2 teams will be going home today, and we're finding out who else that will be. Pacific was our first. These guys are heading it up here in the Almia Convention Center in Jönköping, Sweden. A beautiful and gorgeous area. I cannot believe how clean it is here. The air is amazingly clean, and it just makes it for an even better and more fun convention center. I don't think we're going to have any huge plague going around.
And obviously you can enjoy the beautiful landscape here pretty much 24/7 since the sun sets at something like, I don't know, 11 and rises at 4. both of which events I witnessed last night.
Days kind of just blend together.
Wow. Okay, we are back in the bands. That was a nice smile there for Team San. Thanks for that. We should go over to the bands. And the first band is Mordecai.
Yes.
I am so wrong, Rivington.
I think they watched.
So wrong.
I think they watched that game, and we're going to see how they attribute that to the next game
and
here.
I explained to you why I don't think they'll switch up their band strategy and then they just first ban Mordecai. Then there's a Rumble ban, so they did do their homework. Rumble very, very strong in Rumble. And an Ashe ban. I mean, Ashe is, I don't think there has ever been a period of League of Legends where Ashe wasn't a perfectly alright ban. Twisted Fate ban, and wow, look at game. Vladimir ban. They're just like
1, 2, 3.
Wow, and the Anivia ban. Very, very quick there. So Vladimir and Anivia, 2 very strong AP heroes taken out, and there is a third very strong AP hero, Rake, playing Brand again. He did not do badly against CLG at all, I thought. It was really good. Intrigued playing the Janna and a Nunu jungle. Very, very offensive jungle pick. Darkness on the Nunu. Raked told me before the tournament that he considers himself a gank magnet. Let's see if he can live up to that reputation.
Maybe we'll have to see how aggressive he plays and how far he pushes himself up in lane, feeling, you know, all right. We do see an Italy coming out here. That's going to be very troublesome for Zan at this point in time, as well as a Sona, the double heal coming out. An Italy farmed late game can burst heal very strong, and that cooldown is not that high.
That Nidalee is going to go to Kevin, I am 99% sure, and he is an amazingly good Nidalee player. So there aren't many very good Nidalee players in Europe. I would say Soas from Team AAA is probably the best, but Kevin is really, really good on her as well. And we have Lee Sin, the blind monk, picked for Team Zan, and Annie as well. I'm very happy to see Annie. So we are actually playing with a patch that we're calling internally the Vayne Plus patch. It's the patch that came out after Vayne that contained a few balance changes, most notably Annie's buff. And oh man, that is such a beautiful buff. I play AP whenever they let me, whenever my team lets me, because normally I'm the jungler. Oh, actually, that got changed to a Jarvan there at the last minute. Okay.
Indeed.
That works.
I think they're just going to stick Nunu in the jungle and not really worry about the lane Lee Sin. Put Jarvan up top, let him farm up, and, you know, leave Annie in middle. And whoever is going to be babysat by that lower bottom is going to be their ranged carry, I believe. Looking for some AD, and who will it be?
Unless we're going to have us either Jarvan Janna lane. I mean, these guys are going to amaze us.
That could work, yeah.
But this is still a very American meta game. I mean, assuming that they run Jarvan top. Oh, there's the Tristana pick.
You're happy.
Yes, I'm happy. He is really good. I mean, honestly, he is probably the best Tristana player right now because nobody else plays her, but also because he's really, really good. And last pick, Sylar again with his amazing jungle Alistar. I called that too. I think I didn't tell you on stream, but I did tell you before the game started against CLG. Sylar is going to jungle Alistar, and it's going to be glorious.
Awesome, very nice. And, you know, that just keeps him on the roam from the beginning. You never know where he is. He's in the jungle. You kind of have an idea of where he's going to be. We did see, I believe it was TSM versus CLG when it was either Elements or St. Vicious running Alistar in the jungle for a round. I think Elements was roaming, St. Vicious is the jungler. So I think they switched up the roles because Elements didn't do too well one game, and they got him top golems. He's stuck in the bush near Baron until he leveled and instantly flashed, pulverized, and headbutt. The first time you see Alistar and he's level 2, and you're like, wait a minute, what? And they just played his levels through the jungle. It was very good. But there goes the AD carry for Zan. So Axion is going to be Vayne.
Vayne Janna on bot lane. That is a very, very powerful bot lane. Vayne is actually an extremely powerful AD carry. One of those AD carries that can actually hold a solo lane, even in the current meta. So you can put Vayne on whatever lane you want, but with a Janna, wow. Just imagine that. The W, the Q, and Janna shield on top of that. There's going to be so much damage. A burst from that is going to be really, really painful. Kevin on the Nidalee is going to shut down any top lane. I don't think Nidalee can lane against Jarvan. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with the American meta, so I don't know how well Jarvan actually does in top lane. But Nidalee is an infamously hard top laner to beat. Brand, of course, perfect mid lane. He is going to be up against an Annie, fire versus fire there. Not much. I'm afraid I don't know that many puns, so you're going to have to do the fire puns this time around. And we're going to have Sona and Tristana bot lane, and I predict pain. That's what I predict coming out of that giant cannon that Tristana carries on the arm.
Yeah, that lane's going to be really good. It's actually going to be Vayne versus Tristana on the bottom, obviously with their supports. And Tristana's going to have a little bit of an edge on that one. You know, Vayne can quickly roll in, get more damage than Tristana would off a regular shot, obviously, getting more crit per the HP being lower. So she's not really going to proc too much of that early game, and I think there's going to be a good amount of harass coming out of the hands of Vayne. However, Tristana could be a little bit more aggressive, knowing that Sona can constantly heal and, you know, give her health back sustainability. And Vayne can kind of just poke back and forth, back up, and let herself regen. Maybe she'll grab some Boots health pot to start off. She has that 600 health in lane. We may see something like that. But we can see her running cleanse, and there's really not many people that can lock her down at this point in time. That may be like a wasted summoner for her, but she does have flash. She does still have her escape, and we'll see, you know, where that cleanse comes into play for this game. Like I said, you know, you could, I guess, cleanse out of a pulverize or something, or brand seer after conflagration or pillar. But
I think cleanse is generally a good spell to have. Absolutely, and one last thing about NiF. NiF are running Sona as their support, and sorry, Game are running Sona on NiF. And this is something that the European teams have told me. They say you can outban a game by banning Sona, because apparently NiF is an amazingly good Sona player, but he's not quite as good on any of the other supports. And apparently the last 3-4 months he's only been training Sona non-stop. And also something that Weevil Fader told me when I spoke to him earlier is that something he really loves about NiF's gameplay as a support is that he is one of the very, very few aggressive supports in Europe. So he's a support that will go in your face and basically lead the charge, even with Tristana behind him. And I would really like to see that. Sona is somebody who can do that with a passive, absolutely. And yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes, I think, mostly on the bot lane here. I want to see how this ends.
No, that's really understanding your character. Like I said before with Alistar, when Shushei was playing him, what can you do? How much damage can you take, and understanding the cooldowns of the other players? We're going to get this game going live right now. And here we are as we pop back into the game. Looks like everybody is kind of heading down mid in a line. Looks like they may go straight for each other on this one. Nidalee will stop, and the others will stop. Nunu quickly jumping into that bottom brush there. And we'll have to see what these guys can do for the beginning of the matchup. It looks like they will head over towards their blue. They're just looking on the right side. Zan is looking for a push, a little bit of aggressiveness, maybe catching one off guard as they head down towards Dragon, towards the blue, but it's not going to happen. And Clairvoyant's coming out, and they are able to see as we get the combined Fog of War on that they are a bit blue, and yeah, they're going to do the exact same thing here. They caught Epic off guard.
West Price, yes, but there's no West Price in this game to face check those pushes. Yes, I don't think that they're going to get a fight going here. Let's have a quick look at the items that they're starting with. We see 3 Durance rings on team game, so that's a very aggressive start. The normal start is really boots and 3 pots, which is a, you know, like, I'm going to stay in my lane and I'm going to be all right.
That's what Vayne went with, Yeah,
absolutely. But the 3 Durance rings and 1 Durance blade, that really means they're like, yeah, I'm going to dominate my lane from level 1. You know, if they can, that's absolutely worth it.
You know, and it makes sense, too. We see that Tristana, I don't know, going for the damage right off the bat to kind of negate the roll, or the tumble, I should say, that Vayne's going to have. She also has Doran's, so she's going to be able to, you know, help herself sustain a little bit, but having Sona on her, she's really not going to have to worry about hitting minions to get her life back. She can just worry about the last hits and continue to over-farm here. They are going to go ahead and obviously steal those Wraiths. Nunu on the consume, able to get that up for himself. Looks like we're going to have Jarvan going up top versus Nidalee. That's very, very common for Nidalee to play a solo lane. Very much so a character that you want to have solo, leveled up very quickly, and she can be a lot of assist in the game as a support and as a damage dealer. So we're going to see, going back to their lanes, and yes it is, on bottom, it's going to be Janna and Vayne with Sona and Tristana. Mid is Brand versus Annie. A little bit of fire on fire there. And as I said before,
look at that NiF already being aggressive.
Wow, damage. The E coming out of Tristana, just kind of harassing Vayne right there. So much damage as well from Sona. Sona obviously grabbing a ward, 2 pots, and that revive.
That's exactly what I was waiting for from NiF. He just goes there. He just goes into this. And Nunu is already invading at level 2. Obviously, that is what Nunu needs to do. Otherwise, he's just not strong enough. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to find Alistar here, even though Alistar is trying to pull the golems far away. And, oh, is Tristana going to come and help here? Because I don't think that Alistar can handle him here right now. Oh, and Alistar actually gets the kill there as well. Brand is rotating down into the jungle to help his teammate. And Sona's coming as well. Tristana staying in the lane. Yes, she doesn't want to lose too much farm. 2 from Team Sun here, very, very aggressive in the enemy forest. Tristana should be fine at the moment. She's level 2, so she leveled her jump, and she is going to be able to escape in case they try to be super aggressive on her. And that invade, I don't think that was too useful for Nunu here.
Right.
He didn't do that much damage. He didn't steal anything from Alistar. He maybe delayed Alistar a little bit, but, you know, he delayed himself by just as much.
Yeah, as well, you know, coming out of the jungle. He does have his blue. I believe Alistar has his blue as well, obviously starting off there. Damage being done up top. Vec on Kevin, that is. And they're kind of just trading the same amount of damage, but you can see here a lot of pushing going on by Vec, and he's going to be able to put all these minions into the turret. Yeah, obviously Kevin's going to try to last hit as many as possible, missing that one on the siege minion.
Look at that.
He has a lot to go through right now, though.
6 CS versus 20.
Yeah.
Somehow that Jarvan top is really working.
Yeah, he's really doing a lot, using his Q to farm multiple at one time and just pushing the lane as much as possible. Looks like we have an Alistar coming up through the river here. It could catch him off guard. He's level 3, so he does have Pulverize and Headbutt. Could it be far enough backwards? He kind of does it in the backwards order, but that's all right. He just wants to get the damage down. Lane presence is just as good as the gank because it could happen later. And we have Nunu coming down from the top of Flash coming out there. Will he be able to ice ball? And he does. The headbutt just wasn't enough. Blood Boil is on, and Jarvan will be able to get away. A great assist there by Nunu to get them out of that situation, and they will stay alive. No first blood. That almost happened within the first 5 minutes of the game, but it still looks pretty hungry. They still look pretty hungry here as the tension grows on the top. Jarvan going through the other side with the headbutt. He kind of blinks back over the wall. Will they have a kill here? Vec very low health, going down 10 HP, and it will be first blood by Zyler with Alistar. And will they be able to take down Nunu? A little too low to dive that turret at this point. It's going to ramp up way too much damage over time. They don't have the HP, and he's going to have to back off on that one. A little bit of gold and assist to Nidalee, and we do see Alistar coming up with the first blood there. He did go down as well. So at 1-1 now, 5 minutes, that kill did come in, and it looks like we have ourselves a game.
Yeah, absolutely worth it for us. I mean, the first blood gold is definitely worth dying for. But we can see that the Senna already ahead, and not ahead by much, ahead by 200 gold, but they are definitely ahead in creeps. And I think that's mostly down to Jarvan. I mean, look at bot lane. We have Vayne at 30 CS versus 36 on Tristana, so that's not much of a difference, but the top lane is really going in Zan's favor. I think that now that Nidalee could go home and get herself a mana crystal and some more potions, she will have the breathing room she needs. Look at that offensive positioning there on Nib. I love that. It's just great to watch, and a support that doesn't just wait in the bushes for an option. He just gets out there. He says, if you come close to me, you're going to eat some damage, and you don't have a healer. Well, I can just heal myself and my lane partner up again. And that's exactly the right way to play. But supports are squishy, so it's a scary thing to play as well. Indeed.
Alistar now on the roam, kind of looking to soak up some XP in the lanes. Going for Nunu right now, though. I don't know, Nunu's kind of just hanging out there for a second. And he is going to walk by. Looks like we have somewhat of a freeze-up, possibly. It looks like Zan is not moving at this point in time. We'll have to see if anything happens. No, bottom is moving, so possibly not there. Could have just been a quick desync.
Yeah. It must have been that, and I think just seeing that, that fair gameplay there, he's just saw that the guy doesn't even move. I'm not going to go in there and take advantage of the situation. That, I think, is just great.
Any going back could definitely be attacked right now by one or the other. Darkness goes down in the team fight down bottom, and it's going to be Candy Panda also falling on the ground, 1-1 down on bottom. That's going to be Tristana and Vayne that are both down. Looks like Vec will start to take some damage here. Popped up. He was seen by Nidalee's trap. It's going to be Nunu again coming out. We do see Axion reconnecting there. Quickly disconnected from the game. Great job getting back in by those guys. Quickly resolving the issue there. And it looks like they are able to get back into this fight. Nidalee trying to get a little help from Alistar there. Not too much damage. Nunu coming around the side, though. Wants to kind of poke around and say, hey, we're going to be aggressive on this one. We know you guys want to come into our jungle. We're going to repay the same. And it looks like a Seer coming up. He did not have him on. He did not have the Ablaze yet, so that was not a stun. A little bit of damage trade there. Brand is absolutely out of mana and pretty much ineffective in lane. We're going to see him go ahead and back at this point in time. That's usually what you want to do, especially with Brand. You're very reliant on that mana. So much burst damage, and even with a little, you can really throw somebody off guard and continue to go at him. We go up top. We can see Alistar going after Jarvan, and it looks like the good bump up. A ton of damage coming up. The pounce coming out of the hands of Kevin, and it looks like they will be able to get this kill. A very nice job as they come in for the double gank, and Alistar again soaking up the XP from kills. It is now 1-1-1. Tristana, Nidalee, and Alistar all have kills for their team, as it is only Janna and Nunu on the team for Zan that are coming up with kills. That's Radion and I believe Intrigue.
And if the people who are sitting here in front of us, watching us, are wondering, the players are wearing very, very thick headphones, so you're not going to distract them with applause, so please feel free to clap when something amazing happens. It's a great feeling.
Looks like we got a little bit of push here. Bottom, Candy Panda taking a lot of damage, slowed down that debuff from the auto attack of Janna, and it looks like Vayne starting to do a little bit of damage. Her items are Doran's Blade. She does have that red pill, and she will be able to use that in a team fight to give herself some more damage. We'll see if she does that in the next few minutes here. She did not choose to use it there. It would have been a little premature. She wouldn't have been able to get the damage done needed, and it kind of just would have wasted over the lane phase of the next few minutes. Coming out to here, 9 minutes in the game. Looks like up top, Nunu and Alistar kind of butting heads in the bush. They will lay a trap there. Nidalee trying to give herself some trap support all around the bushes right there, keeping herself aware, you know, without wards, and that's her investment. Putting those traps down, it really helps, and they also can detect wards if you can place them down close enough.
And there are standard ward positions where you just expect those wards,
right,
and you can just put a trap there. Obviously, there's a lot of potential for counterplay there where you just put your wards somewhere else, but these standard positions are standard positions for a reason. They're usually the best places to put your wards. Let's see what's going on in bottom lane now. I really want to see how this lane is going. It seems to be going Candy Panda's favor right now. Vayne is not farming at all at the moment. And yeah, the nice knockout from Janna there. And
wow.
Oh, okay, I see. So he just wanted to push them back and do some damage. Probably could have done more damage without the ulti, but he didn't feel safe there. So yeah, we can see here actually in our spectator mode as well, we can see that the cooldown of Tristana is currently 40 seconds to ulti. So that's not a long cooldown at all.
They're still moving around lane. It looks like Nunu may come down into middle here on Annie, but Alistar is also at that party, and they will choose not to do that. Jarvan is up top. Looks like Nidalee will back in this situation. Kevin now on the fountain, but he quickly gets back into his cougar form and back to lane. Looks like everybody's just somewhat farming. Vayne getting a little pushed here bottom by Tristana, getting jumped on by Tristana. Will they be able to get this kill down on bottom? And she takes a lot of turret shots, very aware of what's going on. And as you said, Nymph, just, hey, what's up? I'm going to heal you. Do what you got to do. You're perfectly fine. Also pilling, so she's getting a little bit extra of that sustain from Nymph and herself. Very well played. 2 in middle right now, and we're going to see if Alistar chooses to go back into the jungle. It looks like he will begin to invade again.
Nice play there, and it looks like, yes, Candy Panda is definitely winning that lane. 77 versus, well, 63 is not that much of a difference, but 0-2-1 versus 2-1-0. TSE is a pattern there. So yeah, it looks like that bottom lane definitely going to Candy Panda on Tristana, and already they're taking the turret down to less than half health here. Wow, that is very quick at 11 minutes. Nidalee's probably going to be safe top there. They pinged her, they saw Nunu coming from the forest, and wow, look at that ward cover there. Wards and traps everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like Annie is waiting for her stun up, possibly for Nunu to come around. She does not want to use that right now, obviously, and also to save herself as well. She can use that to get away and use it as an escape, so she doesn't have to expend flash. And looks like Janna and Vayne are kind of like, I don't want to leave my turret right now. Really, there's no reason. They have no minion wave. Looks like they will begin to move up now. Jarvan and Nidalee up top, just kind of farming back and forth. Nothing big happened there. And we do see in mid that Alistar soaking up XP, not really serving a purpose for Brand. He's kind of, you know, that lane presence once again, as I've said before, but he just wants that XP. He hasn't gotten a kill in a little bit of time, and you don't want to fall behind.
And he is rotating around top now. They could go for a dive against Jarvan here. Alistar does have his ulti up, and he can just take so much tower damage with his ulti up, but he chooses not to. He is going for his blue buff, but it's not up at the moment. He should be aware of that. Maybe he has a timer for it. He expects it back soon, but nope. So while Alistar's setting up there, let's have a quick look at what's going on bot lane. Vayne is actually dares to go out a little bit. Oh, Brand is coming top lane as well, so Jarvan really in trouble now. Alistar going all the way around, using his ultimate to take all that tower damage. So much damage put on Jarvan. It wasn't enough. Let's see, bottom there's the fight. Oh, nice positioning. And yes, wow, Candy Panda waiting for the flash until after the jump. So great play there as well. Gets out safe. That's one of the strengths of Tristana. That jump has a really far range. And oh yeah, Jarvan sticking around. No, Jarvan did not stick around the tower. They took the tower. Yes. yeah, that tower was just doomed after Jarvan had to go back.
Very nice job there. Bottom, Nunu could have taken a little bit more time. Vayne and Janna were both pushed up very far, could have pulled out that Tristana rocket jump, and obviously she's not going to get the cooldown. Nobody was really near death, so that would have been the perfect time to go in there. You know, you wouldn't have been able to do much. You could have gotten the crescendo from Sona. Her ultimate makes everybody kind of dance for a second, do their own little thing, and you know, that was very well played by Candy Panda, not expending her escape ability.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, as I said before, don't have to expend the summoner spell, and that's really the situation you want to be in. A good lane push right now, however, by Zan on bottom, trying to force these minions into the turret, but they're kind of keeping it right there. A very nice job of not moving backwards. Nidalee and Jarvan kind of butting heads up top, doing a little bit of damage to each other. And we're going to see the lanes pretty much calm right now, but Alistar is waiting patiently and trying to get that in there. A very nice headbutt, going for the pulverize. No, a very nice attack. He still has pulverize as well, and it is going to be enough damage to take down the darkness, and he will go down right there. He tries to condemn Tristana off of him, but it was not enough. There were just too many and too much, and that would be another kill. 5-2 now in favor of Gamed as they continue this match quite strong against Zan after coming off a loss. Zan coming off the win.
Maybe Zan really needs a Mordekaiser, who knows? And Nunu coming around, sorry about that. Nunu coming around the bushes now, but does not try to push against Brand. Brand a little bit low on mana, probably not too much damage output that he put out right now. He flashes out, gets out of absolute zero, but he has Ignite on him and he goes down. Wow, that was well played by Axion and Radiant right here. But at bottom lane at the same time, I guess that was yet another Alistar gank, and yes, Tristana just taking him down.
Yeah, very nice job there. Another turret in favor of Gamed. A little global gold for their entire team, and they will be able to move on with that one. Right now it's 18,004 to 16,900.
Wow.
And 2 Gs in gold divided by 5, or somebody else is obviously getting some more of that with the kills. We have a 4-1 Tristana, not the one you want to be feeding, the heavy carry of the game for Game. And the only one to rebuttal that is all ones down the board. It's Annie with 1, Nunu with 1, and Janna with 1. And Janna, it's kind of going to help her, but to go to Annie or somebody else, it definitely would be more of a help.
Yes, yes. And Candy Panda is their star player as well. That's definitely not the player you want to feed here. So this is going good for Game, I have to say, and this is actually making me quite happy. I mean, Game did lose that first game to CLG, and they are considered the weaker American team in this group, but who knows, who knows? Maybe they're just finding their stride right now.
Brand looking to dive that tower, something you have to be very aware of when you're Brand. A Blaze will draw aggro from that tower. Not a lot of people know it. It's a 4.5 second burn, and if you run into the tower with that range, be like, wait, why is it on me? Oh, just because I set 4 people on fire. And there's one right there, the pillar, and he almost hits the seer. That would have been very nice, and definitely the ultimate initiation that they would require to take down Annie right there. I'm going to check it, and she almost has Tibbers, about 20 seconds left on that. So you can see everybody converging to mid here, gathering together. Vayne is going to guard that bottom and kind of try and grab those minions, and it looks like they will start to come into mid here. Annie possibly getting her spells ready to drop Tibbers. It looks like they're backing off though. This turret will go down, the third and final outer turret, and now into those second outer turrets. And we're going to have to see what Gamed can do now, as they are playing very aggressive inside the jungle, and it looks like they may meet Zan in the jungle right now. They may have seen Tristana go into the bush. Do they have control over this? They're a little bit spread out here. It looks like Jarvan is just going to go ahead and run by. The seer was missed, so nobody was stunned. No real initiation on that one. It looks like the ultimate right across the wall, and it's only going to go through the minions. Very unfortunate. Vayne was very smart on that to run away. Great job by Darkness, and they are forced to move out. Annie definitely with her ultimate up, and she does have that stun around her waist, looking to pop up Alistar. Not really one you want to initiate on, but they may have to anyways. It looks like they will let him be for now, knowing the team is there, obviously having and saving enough mana for his ultimate. A very good decision by both teams. Alistar knowing he had enough to fight, Zan knowing they weren't really in the position to.
And they are just turning around again. The moment it looked like Games were running, now they turn around again. Again, pushing you back now. Tristana constantly attacking people during that fight and getting 2 of them down to half health. And after that, Zan just couldn't continue pushing, and they may just have to give a dragon to Game here, especially since Game have that insane damage output from Tristana, and there's not really much that they can do to, Zan can do to stop them, and they're not even trying it, they're just giving the dragon to Game. And you have to realize that the dragon means experience in gold, but it also means one more thing. These teams all time their dragons. So when the dragon dies, they write down when it will spawn again. And that's a bit of information that Zan don't have, or don't have as precisely as Game. So Game can set up for the next dragon and can just kind of snowball from there, chaining dragon after dragon. And I know that Nif is a pretty good support player, so he would be the one to do the timing. and I would expect them to set up for the next dragon and just take it away again. They are now 2.4 gold ahead, and oh, Candy Panda getting a little trouble there, but flashes out, it should be fine. No, he didn't flash, he just jumped, didn't he? Yeah, his flash is still on cooldown, so he's fine, he didn't lose anything there.
Yeah, very nice job, just kind of utilizing his abilities to get away, and no reason to overuse your spells. Everybody pretty much spread out back into their regular lanes for Zan right now, just trying to get their farm on. Not too much pushing going on by Gamed, and this is kind of a risky part of being able to push the lane so quickly, is you have to be up in the face of the other team the entire time, and they're going to be allowed to farm, and they're going to start catching up. So you definitely have to start playing more aggressive. You definitely have to start, you know, initiating fights. They don't have a dragon to initiate on. It's still really low for anything to happen at Baron. A lot of people are still under 10. It's not really an option whatsoever. But we do see Nunu kind of setting up in the bush here. Oracles have already been grabbed. That Oracle Elixir allows them to grab those wards, not grab wards, allows them to take out the enemy wards in the jungle rather. And it really helps with the control. As we said all week, all day long, and almost we're going to say it probably all weekend long as well, wards are the investment that you need to win games.
Yes. Alistair there could have been ripe for the picking. There was no one from his team around, 3 from Team Sen, but they didn't see who was around or not, so they didn't go for it. Oh, Annie should have seen Alistair there, and she knows. And she knows that they're around, so she's pulling back right now. Team Sen rotating down into the river a little bit. No, I think Vayne decides to stay in lane and farm some more. They can't really pick a fight. They have to wait for Game to pick a fight, preferably under one of the turrets, and make a mistake. But obviously at this point it's very easy for Game to invade the enemy jungle, and as we see on the combined Fog of War here, there's a lot of vision that Games have in the enemy jungles, and the top jungle and bottom jungle, and it's just going to be so hard for San to do anything.
Now you can see about 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 wards and Nidalee traps as well all over the green dots in the Fog of War. A lot of damage going on to Tristana right now. Oh, hit backwards by the ultimate. Could they come in? Nymph taking a lot of damage as Vayne with her ultimate on just does so much damage. It's not something you want to be hit by, especially on a third proc Silver Bolt. It's no fun. Condemned against the wall. No thank you, sir. Yeah. And it looks like they're going to be able to do a good damage to this turret. That hitting, but it doesn't look like right now Nidalee has too much AP. That's not going to do too much damage. It actually hit at quite a far range. Jarvan almost going down. Tibbers goes down onto Alistair. A very nice job by Kevin to get out of that and miss that Tibbers drop. It would have done a huge amount of damage right now. Annie has quite a nice build. That Deathfire Grasp as well as 2 Doran's Rings and penetration boots, and Tibbers would have not felt too good if it was on the face of Nidalee at that point in time. The flash away, very smart idea. You know, no problem for Alistar. He can just go ahead and heal up, get back into the fight. 3v2 situation up top. His bottom is getting a 2v2 situation as well. Fights going on all over the place here. Good push on the turrets. Vayne taking a good amount of damage there from both Tristana and Sona, that is. And it looks like Brand is going to go ahead and farm himself mid, pull both Nunu and Annie from top. Looks like Jarvan is on the fountain. So Brand's just like, hey, I'll soak up some XP. You really don't want me to, but later it's going to be quite bursty, and we're going to have to see what Brand can do in the team fights. Starting off with that Pillar of Fire and the ultimate, just melting people.
Oh, and there is here a kill picked up against Sona, against Nif. He was a little bit too aggressive, it looks like. But at the same time, they're picking up a tower top and possibly, yes, also a Nunu top. So that was worth it, I guess. Nif confused them, surprised them with his decision, and that allowed them to get a tower and a kill top.
So 2 down on Zan, 2 Sona down on Gamed. Something you would take all day. Sona not really one to get kills, so she's not going to be worth much the whole game. Obviously, it's not good to drop a player at all.
It's money to the other team as well. I didn't see that.
But yes, they did.
Well. Wow.
So it looks like Janna all by herself on the bottom, and she will continue to guard that tower, continuing to farm the XP as it comes in. No reason you shouldn't. It's only 1-on-1, and Tristana's not going to be able to do that much damage right next to the tower. You can just go ahead and back up. Looks like Tristana may meet Annie right there. She does have her stun, dropping down Tibbers, and huge as she goes for that W. Very nice job picking that up by Axion. A very much needed kill, bringing it to 8 and 5. Now 3K down as they slowly lose that money, and we're going to see how the advantage plays in favor of Gamed as the game goes on. 23 minutes or 22-20 into the game right now. Still really looking greatly in favor of Gamed as they have not lost 1 turret yet.
I wonder, how did Annie see Tristana in the bushes here? I just checked, they didn't have vision, they clairvoyanced afterwards, so Annie must have just seen her pass through somewhere and just checked the bushes. pushes.
Annie may have been going, I think Brand was still in that position at times, somewhere in mid, or Sona,
Right.
as we see now, is just going around to play the outside role, maybe drop tippers from the side on Brand. It's
Right.
still, it's probably more damage to Brand than it would have done to Annie, and you saw how fast, Tristana rather, not to Annie, Tristana dropped. So we could have seen that again, just again with her stun procced up, not giving anything to chance. Janna flying across the map with that tailwind. We'll see if she can initiate something here. Actually putting down a ward. Brand not going to even try for it, saving his spells. And it looks like Jarvan with the shield up recently. He is going to go ahead and just keep farming.
And on Alistar we see 3 Doran's rings and Aegis of the Legion. It's a very, very team-based build. I really, really like that, especially on a jungler who can come in and not just gank, but also, you know, help people who are there. And oh, that's so much free damage on Janna. That means she'll probably have to go home. Yes, she'll have to go home, which gives Game a couple of minutes to do something, a couple of seconds to do something on the map. But well, Dragon is back, and despite my predictions, they did not set up in time for it. So there's some element of coordination missing there. They should have been ready for Dragon. They should have timed it. They didn't.
Right. Sona now as well with an Oracle. She's going to be able to roll around the map. Kevin getting back into the matchup here. He did get disconnected real quick. We see that on the screen. Jarvan moving up top. Alistar able to guard that tower. Nothing really going to come of that disconnect. He is going to be able to get back into the game quite quickly as we are on the LAN. It's going to be simple and easy. And looks like Janna and Nunu going ahead to grab blue buff. They'll probably give this one to Nunu if all goes well. And actually, it's going to be stolen here. I think Tristana will be able to get that. And it goes to Sona. Very nice. The cooldowns and the mana, that's going to help immensely. A huge one going for the Pillar Fire, nearly ultimate, and pretty much melting. Very nice Candy Panda coming in for the kill. Just going to feed him up nicely. 174 creep score, 6-2 at this point in time, and another jungle in their favor. 190 gold plus the XP, 33.3k to 29.8k. The money is just increasing now, about $4,000 or 4,000 gold over Zan at this point in time, and Game, you know, leaving nothing to chance after seeing Zan versus TSM.
And that was nice revenge for Tristana in exactly the same place where she was killed by Annie a moment ago. She gets to kill Annie. Jarvan meanwhile stealing Game's blue buff. That's interesting. I thought I saw Sylar doing that blue buff a moment ago, but he must have aborted it. And there's one inner turret that goes down, the second inner turret actually that goes down for Sen already, and they're setting up to take down the third inner turret. Jarvan completely out of position, cannot defend. He may take a turret in return.
Yes, he's definitely. But he's going to get that one, but you know, they've been losing a lot, and this is, they really need defense on this inhibitor turret. If they get a lot of damage done on it, could easily be a backdoor for somebody. Not that they have a team that backdoors or anybody that can really go around. A nice flash in and pulverize coming out of the hands of Alistar. His team was not there. They were focusing on the turret. He thought they were going to take it down a little bit quicker, but that's all right. Kind of unfortunate that the flash was used for them, but they will be able to still initiate in fights. Alistar is somebody that, you know, it kind of matters on if you want to initiate well, but he doesn't really need it to escape with the amount of damage he can take.
Yeah, absolutely. And he can still have pulverize if he has the range for that, and so that kind of almost replaces the stun right there. So a needlessly large rod on Annie now, bringing her up to 222 AP, and let's see, 153 only on Brand. Brand not doing quite as well as Annie, even though their CS is identical. He has 0-1-1 while she has 2-1-0. So obviously those kills for Annie putting her slightly ahead and allowing her to run a Deathfire as well as a needlessly large rod. The Deathfire, obviously a proc item that you activate against an enemy, and it does a percentage damage of their max health, and that percentage actually scales with AP. Yes. So as you build more AP on your champion, that becomes even more painful. Sand now going back with 2 of them. See if Annie's going to be caught here. No, she seems to be fine. Oh, wow. Unless Candy wants to
very aggressive Candy Panda. It looks like he will turn to the right. They did have that ward there. I was like, you have no mana. Where are you going? You have a ward there. Yeah. All right, they were definitely safe in that situation. Yes. And he does have red as well, so he can always hit and run away, hit and run away. You're going to be slowed. Zyler looking to put some pressure on the jungle right now as they're pinging him. They're like, hey, okay, come on, chill out, please. His own team is going to give him the what's up. Let's take it easy here. We don't really have enough space to initiate, and we're kind of spread out. Looks like you're going to go down bottom. That Infinity Edge now in the hands of Tristana. And you can tell, obviously, with 6-2, has not sold any of those Doran's Blade, has had enough to build up a Zeal and the Infinity Edge with Berserker Greaves, with whatever she needs. You know, usually you see somebody at least sell 1 or 2 of those to get to that Infinity Edge faster, but she's totally comfortable in a build right now, and you can tell she's very farmed at 203. The closest is Jarvan at 195. We're going to head up top to see what's going down here. It looks like Nunu and Jarvan may initiate on something. Alistar Alistar does see that they're there, and Jana will gather together with the group here. We could have a forced fight, but it looks like everybody's really spread out. Jarvan not going to initiate anything, going back towards middle. Everybody kind of feeling out where the other team is, trying to get a look, trying to get, you know, a spell drawn out so some of the cooldowns are going down. And there it is right there, coming in with the headbutt, misses the pulverize on the flash. A very good timing on Vec playing Jarvan, and it looks like he will be able to get out alive. The fight to be initiated is growing only more and more as they expend those summoner spells of the opposing teams, and we'll have to see what they can do.
Any out of position. If game went for it right now, it would be a 5v4 with the flash down on Jarvan. That would be really advantageous for them, and they seem to want to go for it, but obviously they're running in the direction of Annie now, so she can join the fight if she wants to. That was an amazing attack against Jarvan top. The headbutt actually pushed him out of range for his combo, so he could not use his Q to go close to his standard and do the little jumpy thing that he does. That's the technical term, the little jumpy thing.
Yes,
that's
the flag
what the skill called. Yes, the little jumpy thing. Yeah, so Zan now defending one of the inhib turrets, and it's not looking too good for them. 9 to 5 currently against them, and 39 to 36k gold. It looks like Game are definitely in the driving seat at the moment. They have to consider whether or not they want to try and push this turret, but with Nidalee they have this amazing poke of the spear. So if they wanted, they could just stick around and poke, but they're like, nah, we don't need to. We'll just go here and get infinity gold. So having infinity gold is always an advantage, mathematically speaking. They could be setting up for Baron now as well. That would not be unsmart, especially with a Tristana in the game. Oh, it looks like this time did they time Dragon? No, they're just going home. All right, that works too. No blue buff up for the enemy team that they could be stealing here. A death cap and a sheen on Nidalee. That means that every time she throws a large spear, her next auto attack, a small spear, is also going to hurt quite a bit more. She's going to build a Lich Bane. Of course, that is just a must-have item on Nidalee. It's so painful. You get a spear in the face, and then you get another spear in the face.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too good.
No. No,
you see Alistar heading up here to the top blue golems, going to be able to take them out quite easily. Nunu is right on the other side. He's like, I want to go get golems, but I think I smell a cow. Yeah. So he's going to head off of that one and go back to the base, probably possibly buy something. I don't know. Nobody's really showing themselves right now for Gamed. So it looks like they're really just kind of defending inside the base. Annie's all out there by herself, so we'll have to see what she does in that bush by Wraith. Looks like they will start to take the tower, and a lot of damage coming out of the hands of Tristana on this one. She will jump away, using that quite early, but it doesn't look like the fight is initiated, so she will be all right on that one.
And yes, she has the cooldown back right now, so that jump, that's okay. The cooldown is really not that long. Let's see what Nidalee is tossing over the wall. Spears is what she's tossing over the wall. Oh, Annie waiting in the wings here. This could be interesting if Annie manages to initiate from behind, put a good Tibbers down on the entire enemy team. But did she disconnect? She's just standing there. Yeah, she's blue pilling. Oh god, it looks like another disconnect here.
It's not going to help them out. And Tibbers would be huge right now. They are trying to take the turret. Zan, unfortunately, going to have to deal with that game. Kevin going to take down the turret with the help of his team. Annie taking a few turret shots to the face. Damage she will be all right with. The ultimate from Brand coming out. You can see the melt. It instantly hit him. Nobody can stop the proc there of absolute zero, but they have enough damage to be taken. Great job and survivability by Gamed at this point in time, focusing down Nunu so he couldn't get away after the absolute zero. There it is. Axion has reconnected. It would have been very helpful for that fight, and that could have been the table turner for this one, as Zan come out very strong from the last match. An unfortunate event of circumstances to happen in this one. The Q coming out of Tristana, and this turret is just going to drop down in health. Candy Panda destroying that turret. They're going to be able to take out another inhibitor. Now this is 2 inhibitors that Zan has to wait to respawn, and I've mentioned this before. They have to stay in the face of Zan at this point. It's going to be a lot of minions flooding their base. They're going to be able to start accruing that gold and making their builds a lot better from here on out. They don't have a lot of finished builds. If you can see that scoreboard, they all have the Heart of Gold, trying to get that gold in their favor. As you said, it is a late game item, and that's where they are right now. You know, 31 minutes into this match, 32 as we crest that point, and they're looking to have a lot of gold as we have Infinity Edges and Phantom Dancers, Aegis and Rabadons on the other side for Game. They have a lot of finished build items, and 2 Rabadons on the team as well. And really, Alistar, the only one that doesn't have as much as he needs, as he's been roaming, still has a good amount of kills, 2, 1, and 5 with 110 creep score, is kind of building for that attack damage as well as AP.
Oh, and Jarvan finds himself a Tristana here in the forest. Oh, he does a lot of damage.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, wow. But there is an Annie and picks up the kill against Candy Panda. That was good. That was exactly what San needed in this.
It's going to be a good amount of gold coming out of the hands of Tristana. She has not, I believe, died since 2 and 1.
Yeah.
And now she's 9 and 3. So we'll have to see. Those 2 kills came. I believe she was able to get like 4 or 5 kills before taking those. So that's a lot of gold that's going to go to Annie, and that's not the person you want to give it to. That's going to be possibly a Void Staff coming out. Her build right now shows going for Rabadons with that needlessly large rod and the blasting wand, and then possibly into, actually, and she has the Deathfire, so possibly into the Rabadons and then the Void Staff.
Wow, that's going to be extremely painful. And there was no reason at all for Tristana to be there in that part of the forest at that moment. That just... yeah, I have to say Candy Panda probably made a mistake there. He just got a little bit too confident. He's like, oh yeah, we're winning this game. I'm just going to blue pill in the middle of the enemy forest. That's fine. Unless, of course, he got it disconnected. No, he reacted afterwards. He jumped and everything. So yeah, we still haven't seen even an attempt on Baron, which I find rather interesting. Oh, wow, the damage from Vayne.
So much damage. You know, Nidalee can only heal so much, but the constant damage from Vayne and the absolute chase down ability. Nobody else has it. You know, the best thing that she could have done there was break line of sight. We have a 3v2 situation as Alistar is trying to take the brunt of all the damage here, and he does so, staying on the backside. Sona able to stay alive with that Oracle's brand now. A little bit more dangerous with the Banshee's Veil on. He does not have to worry about a Nunu Ice Blast or an Annie stun, so he can take that and know that he has to get out of the fight, wait those 30 seconds for that to come back up.
They seem to be going in the direction of Baron, but Tristana completely out of position. Does she know that Vayne is there? No, she probably didn't. Wow, she cleans up really quickly.
Yeah, actually doing a great job. She knows that she has the damage. She has the crit. We can see a little fire dance going on by Rake in middle, but she grabs the last Whisper, and Tristana now is going to start tearing people apart. This is the point in time where you're like, I think we may need that armor. I can't even think of it right now.
If you buy, well, Thorn Mail.
Yes.
Yes. If you're at the point where you think you need Thorn Mail, you're probably already lost.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I was going to say it's not something you need, but I was trying to think of the armor before it happens. You know, it's just somebody you need to shut down now, but the escapability of Tristana is what makes it so hard, and if she can get that kill, she can just continue to jump around and stay out of your reach. So that's very, very tough. She's also moving quite quickly. She has a Zeal, the Phantom Dancer, possibly going for another Phantom Dancer, and that is not going to be fun whatsoever. Everybody is now congregated inside the base for Zan. They are pinging around. We see a Blue Pill, Jarvan, and Nunu both back in base, and we're going to see if they can come back out in time. No, Nunu actually just dropped down. It looks like he disappeared instantly, but he disappeared under the coin of Annie on the minimap, and the Oracle's now in the hands of Nunu as well for this side, so both teams have the Oracle. The initiation could come in. There was the flag drop there. The ultimate going down. Tivers is on the ground. A good amount of damage, but a great heal from the hands of Sona. Picks her team back up. Janna using her ult, and it will push some people back, but only healing herself and not really giving her team the utility and support necessary. The ult coming out of the hands of Sona there after her heals will shut down the rest of the team. It is going to be a big jump. A lot of damage coming out of the hands of Vayne. Was able to shut down Tristana. Not worth as much money at this point in time, but it was a good player to go down. It's going to be a lot harder for these guys to drop more turrets and inhibitors, but this one obviously being so low, they're going to be able to do it very well. An ace for the team. They won't be able to go all the way on this one. They may be able to get a lot of damage done. Actually, they have a huge minion wave. I am a liar. I did not see that. As I looked down to the minimap, they kind of blended in with everything down there on the minions, and it looks like they may be able to take the game here. 9 and 7 seconds left before anybody gets back in the match. A lot of damage to be done to this Nexus right now. Alistar with the highest base damage at the start of this game, so he's going to be using his abilities and using that Sheen to just rock off a ton of damage to this Nexus, and that is going to be a GG for this game. Very well played by Game, coming out strong against Zan after a loss for Game. Zan coming off a win now to the loss, and Game probably feeling a lot better about that situation.
They should feel really good about themselves, even though that Vayne really gave them trouble. Tristana, if you watched her jumping left and right in that last fight, the Jarvan ulti hit her, and I'm sure she was ready with the finger over the W button, and she just jumped right over. It's like, yeah, you jump on me, I'll just jump out, and you could play in your crater by yourself.
Let's check the damage that Tristana dished out on this. 271 creep score and a huge amount of kills here. Damage dealt Tristana. She is, yes, Candy Panda on the top, 175,000 damage. That's not going to feel good. She's actually beating everybody by at least 2 bars. The closest behind her was Darkness.
Nice.
Great game played.
Absolutely, yes. That was well, that was exactly the game that we expected to see, with a dominating bottom lane translated into lots of successes in team fights. to be honest, Zan didn't play a bad game at all. That Vayne was really, really scary, and Jarvan top lane shut down in Italy, which I didn't think was possible either. But yeah, I have to say that they're definitely not bad. But I still don't understand how they could shut down TSM so bad. Something must have happened.
It's one of those catch-off-guard type of matches,
yeah.
you know, and it really happened. This time, you look at the heart of golds, and they're depending on that gold over time. You know, that's not really something you want to have to do. It kind of gives you the mentality, if you're being pushed back, you're like, all right, I'm still kind of getting gold, so I don't want to overextend and push. When sometimes you need to take those chances, and you need to force the fight before Tristana gets 271 and 14 and 4, because that is not something you can really come back from, you know, unless, obviously, like he said, you possibly get the Thorn Mail, and at that time you're already saying, oh man, this is kind of in the bag.
Yes, exactly, yes. And not a team player, Candy Panda, as you can see, not a single
no assists. He wants them all.
Yes, he needs them all for himself. He should have built Sword of the Occult. That would have totally made sense.
That would have hurt. Very much so.
Well, a very good game there, and Candy Panda proving that it's not for no reason that we call him the hero of Game D, their rock star, so to speak, and that's the gameplay that we've been looking to see from him. Maybe his Tristana is simply better than his Corki, because that was, let me tell you, an amazing Tristana.
That was a very good game, utilized very well in all positioning and every other aspect that, you know, a Tristana needs to play, not using her rocket jump and too early to give herself her escape, as well as a flash out of that as well, using her E at the right time to, you know, stop healing. It was just very well played all around, and she definitely had the build going as well. Also noticed she needed some magic resistance, went for the Negatron Cloak, and pretty much everything else around the board, just a very well-rounded build for that Tristana, and for, I should say, you know, Candy.
Yeah, I like to see that. So, do you know what's next?
I do not.
You do
it's
not.
A surprise.
It's going to be, there's going to be interviews next, of course.
I believe we do have the players ready in the tournament area for some interviews, so let's get that checked out and see what the post-game players have to say.
Hi, it was after a particularly epic game. I'm here with the team that just played. Can you introduce yourself to everyone and who you played in that game?
I'm from Team Zen. I'm Intrigue. I played Janna last game.
Great, and what were your thoughts about that last game?
It was a very close fight, but they played a bit better, so they won the game. But there was some disconnection, so I was a bit disappointed. But that's not an excuse.
Yeah, it was very dramatic for all of us watching, and you know, you guys were able to manage to come back from it pretty well, but not, you know, not for the whole game. You know, what do you think the particular strengths of your team are, and how did that manifest within that last game we just watched?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, what do you think the strengths of your team are, and how did that manifest itself during that last game? Where did that come through?
Actually, I think it's the gameplay that we lost to.
Sorry?
Actually, I don't get your question.
What do you think is the main strength of your team? What are you guys best at? What are you best at?
Oh, we are best at our lane controls. However, the last game, our lanes weren't doing very well, and they got the upper hand.
Great. Thank you very much. And can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Candy Panda. I played Tristana last game. Yeah, I'm the carry player of Game D.
Great. It was a very epic Tristana. I think we're all very excited to watch you and watch the awesome items you were building. You got very scary at the end there. How do you think that happened? You know, what got you all that gold and all those kills?
Well, in my opinion, Zona and Tristana are the strongest bot lane at the moment. And yeah, we got a lot of towers because we pushed with Nidalee. And so yeah, I got really fed.
Great, and so, you know, obviously with their team that you haven't really played before, you haven't really seen them play before. Were there any surprises?
Actually not, because they played really similar to us. So yeah, we didn't expect them to play such a style like us.
Great, well that's awesome. Thank you both very much. Good luck with your next game, and back over to you.